And welcome back. Joining us this morning, we have Jeff Green from the Marquette City Fire Department. Thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So this is Fire Prevention Week, and you said there's actually a very deep, interesting history behind why this started up.
Yeah, 1871 was a Great Chicago Fire, and as we know in this area, the Peshtigo Fire as well. Unfortunately, it took about 40 years for government to say enough is enough and we need to make people more aware of it. And by proclamation in the year 1920, Woodrow Wilson decided that any week that the October 9th date fell on, that should be Fire Prevention Week, and it began in 1922. And we've had Fire Prevention Week ever since.
Wow, and every year, I mean, so many people's lives get saved. Fire prevention has come a long way. One of the things that really makes a difference for homeowners are smoke detectors. Now, you know, there's so many different kinds. We've got a picture of just a standard smoke detector, but what should people know about smoke detectors?
Well, that plays pretty well into their campaign this year, which is don't wait, check the date. Smoke detectors are a great tool for discovery of fire very early on. But they do have a shelf life, and if people look on the back of their smoke detector, there's a manufacture date, and that smoke detector is most effective within 10 years from that date. So after 10 years, it's not as though they stop working altogether, but their sensitivity starts to wane and they need to be replaced.
Okay, so now it's not just the batteries we should check, but check that expiration date.
Correct.
Okay. Another thing I had a lot of questions about this year, you know, there are so many different kinds of fire extinguishers. What should we have in our homes?
Obviously a great tool for putting out incipient or early phase fires. They make like an ABC, which is good for any type of fire that you may encounter in your home. Good to have one. You had asked earlier about how long they last.
Yeah.
There's a gauge on the fire extinguisher itself, and as long as that gauge is in the green, it's good to go.
Oh, okay.
There isn't like an expiration date with a fire extinguisher. One thing you do want to remember with home portable fire extinguishers is to invert it, tip it upside down every once in a while, and tap the bottom of it, because that dry chemical will settle in the bottom of the extinguisher and cake.
Oh, wow.
So that when you pull the pin and squeeze it, you may just get a rush of air rather than the actual chemical coming out.
That doesn't help with the fire whatsoever.
It doesn't. No, actually it tends to make it worse.
So if it's not in that green gauge, what do you do with them?
Most of them, for home use anyway, are expendable or disposable. They do make ones that are refillable.
Okay.
Those type you find more in an industrial setting. Because they're more apt to be used.
Sure.
And they're obviously more expensive. So really for home use, just a disposable type is best.
Okay, and I know all of the fire departments work so well with the kids about planning home escapes and things like that. What other things should families know about as we get ready for really it's a deadly time of the year when it comes to fires?
People are at home more in the winter time. Heating and cooking appliances account for the majority of fires in the homes. Most fatal fires occur between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning, so it's really important to have working smoke detectors and to have some sort of a plan before the incident happens, because you're more likely to survive threefold if you have a working smoke detector and an escape plan and you've practiced it.
All right, gotcha. Well, I want to thank you for coming in and letting us know about some of these. Such an important week.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for helping us get the word out.
All right, thank you. Now, coming up, I was joking a little bit before, but when I cook, everybody's made pizzas and that smoke detector has gone off.